Good evening, everybody, and happy Anzac Day to everybody down under. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. Tonight we're bringing you round 7 of the official iRacing V8 Supercar series from the beautiful Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me tonight are the usual suspects. Mr. Pete Bingham, good evening.
Evening, everybody.
And Mr. Bill Switzer, good evening, Bill.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome.
And running the bells and whistles in the background is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening, Sam.
Yeah, good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
So, guys, Phillip Island, one of the iconic Australian tracks, 2.7 miles, 12 turns. It's got a bit of everything. There's a long straight, there's fast turns, tight hairpins, dramatic elevation changes, especially Lukey Heights down into turn 10. Bit of a contrast to last week at Oran Park. So, Pete, what are you expecting from tonight?
Well, this track offers itself a lot of overtaking opportunities, especially into those two very tight hairpin bends. Just after Stoner Corner, there's an opportunity for people to lose traction and go wide and compromise their turn into that hairpin. Likewise, second hairpin and coming round that is it turn 10 or 11? I can't remember. It's 11, I think. And getting no grip coming out of there, especially with the new tyre model. I've not seen the tyre model active on Phillip Island yet. I think it'll be very exciting. Hopefully, lots of overtaking. We've got 22 cars in the field, which is a very strong field. More than we had last time out at Oran Park. I think it'll be great.
Bill, so we've got a 40-lap race tonight. As Pete says, we've got a 22-car grid. Last time out, Tony Kloosterman leading the race at Oran Park. I wouldn't say he was running away with it, but one mistake and he gifted the win to Nicole Foggy. There's a few names in there tonight that we recognise, and obviously quite a few that we don't. Do you think Tony can get his win tonight, or do you think the competition is going to be a bit too stiff?
Well, I have to tell you, Tony, no matter who's out there, he's going to try his hardest, and Tony's an excellent driver. He's a competitor, and as the namesake of his team, he never quits. He keeps charging, and he's got as good an opportunity, I think, as any. Of course, we have Nicole Foggy, the little green man with the antennas sticking out of his head. He's always capable of being number one. Johnny Brandon, other people in the field as well. And of course, Phillip Island is absolutely a beautiful place. It's like Nirvana. It's just absolutely gorgeous there. I don't know how they can concentrate coming down that front straight or looking out over that ocean. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I think it's going to be one heck of a race. And as Pete mentioned, everything is here. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, certainly is. So we're in qualifying at the moment. Tony Kloosterman is currently sitting on pole, ahead of Nicole Foggy, another driver that we know. And then a driver that I don't personally know, Conrad Molnar, is in 3rd place. But the times are pretty tight at the top there, Pete.
Yeah, there's not much in it at the moment. There's only 2 tenths that separate the top 3. Conrad Molnar, I've either raced with him before or I've seen him in somebody else's race. He is very, very capable, obviously, because he's in the top 3 here right now. He's holding car number 4, so his I rating is obviously very high. Don't know whether we need to explain I rating to anybody, but never mind. Johnny Brandon holding car number 2 is in 4th. Marco Namela, who races in our Race Tech series, is holding car number 7 in 5th. Then somebody else I've never seen before, Nathan Moore. I don't know whether anybody else has seen his name before. He's holding car 11. This race hasn't split, so this is the field for this particular race type in iRacing. Then we've got some familiar faces. Rich Warmingham holding car number 5. He's very, very capable. He'll move forward from where he is now in the race. Are we at the end of qualifying, or are we still qualifying at the minute, guys?
No, we have a while left.
Minute and a half or so, roughly.
Oh, okay, cool.
No,
Then we got
sorry. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a little more than a minute left.
right. Cheers, Bill. Then we got Greg Carr, part of Team GC. He's holding car number 12, but he is currently in 8th place. And Wayne Sanderson nearly matching his car number. His car number's 8. He's in 9th. And then Rich Tam in holding car 13, in 10th. And then in order, we have Jamie Wilson, Stephen Walker, Dean Flavel, Oliver Pastock, Tommy Toe, Richard Soboleski, Kevin Duell, sorry. Is that right, Sam? Yeah, just checking. Duell here. Michael Frost, Utman Aloui. Apologies if we get your name wrong, Utman. Andy Richards, Asia Mentaxa, Takzaka, and then Matthew B. Spinks running out the.
Yeah, so guys, apologies if we get any of your names wrong, but feel free to drop us a line and point us in the right direction. We're doing our best. So we're at the end of qualifying now, so it looks like Tony Kloosterman has managed to hold on to that pole position. And we'll see if he can get it done. Top Aussie at the moment, or from that part of the world, is Nathan Moore. So yeah, we're a Canadian, a UK guy, and then an American first 3 cars. So the nationalities are split. The cars are split. Let's see what sort of race we're going to get as they start gridding up.
Well, it seems to be shaping up. Going to be a pretty good battle, I think. There's a lot of really capable guys in there, as Pete has pointed out, and of course we have some wild cards we know nothing about, so we'll have to see how they do as well.
Yeah, like as we said before, there's quite a few names in this 22 car field that we don't know from our league that we run, but I'm sure they're all very capable. We'll give our usual shout out to our teammate Michael Frost, flying the flag for Vulcan Esports in this race. So let's hope Mike does well. We're just waiting for the cars to grid up. Lights are coming on. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're green. We're off.
So far, so good. Oh, we got a car off. He's back on. Good man. Let's see. That
was a safe rejoin as well.
Is Nathan Moore that went off. He's back on.
Mm-hmm. So we've filed ourselves into a single line pretty much through the field. There's a few steps off one another. A few passing opportunities here. I'm gonna change my camera angle. So at the moment we've got Oliver Patok and Utman. No, Oliver Patok and Tommy Toe. Tommy Toe was quite a character last time out. He was involved in lots and lots of overtakes action on the screen. They've sorted themselves out now. Their line is Jamie Wilson is closing in on the back of Stephen Walker, and he's passing him on the outside. Good effort there, Jamie. That's one for your poster book, mate. We have Wayne Sanderson following Greg Carr, who was showing his nose quite clearly to Nathan Moore just then, and very keen to get by, that has to be said.
Okay, after lap 1, we got Tony Kloosterman in the lead, followed by Conrad Molnar, Nicole Foggy, and Johnny Brandon all in tow. Marco Numella's not far behind in 5th.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks that is quite hard to gap somebody behind you. There's some places where even the small amount of tow that you get with this car, it is quite easy to catch up the car in front. There's great battle for second going on.
For sure. I was just going to say Foggy's looking. on the side of Conrad Molnar. He might get him in this next one. He's falling back behind. Okay, he's still in third place, but Conrad knows he's there now.
Yeah, and this could all play into the hands of Johnny Brandon. We know that Nick Holl is a safe driver anyway, but any contact between second and third place, Johnny Brandon is sat there waiting to take over.
Yep, for sure.
It's quite a nice paint job on Conrad's car, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, it's a copy of the old Bottle-O car. Yep.
Yeah, it's nice. There's a lot of time spent on liveries in iRacing for these guys, so
for sure.
And it's a fantastic car to paint as well. It's got all the right lines, so that's why these cars do look so.
It does look good, yeah.
These top three seem to be dropping Johnny Brandon slightly, unless he's just sort of easing back in case there is any contact. And then you've got Marco Namella and Rich Warmingham making up the top six. Obviously, a couple of drivers that we.
Nickel looking again on Conrad.
Yeah, that's a good overtake.
Looks like he got him.
Poor old Conrad got very wide there. He's going to lose 2 places.
Yes, he did. Sorry, Pete.
No, that's fine, mate.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually doing that on purpose or not, because that does give you a defending opportunity into the next corner. Or whether he just run wide, but you can see the dust come up off the track, so it must be slippery out there.
Yeah, once you're offline through Stoner Corner, it's. Oh, we've got a spinner. That is a replay. Yeah, that's a replay of Utman going. He's doing a bit of gardening, and he just did the verge there, mate. That's fine.
And
he's rejoined safely. He did a brilliant job, to be honest.
He looked like he was going all the way round then, but yeah, managed to save it, like you say, cut a bit of grass back on the track safely, and he's still going with no damage.
Absolutely. At the front, we've got Tony Kloosterman, followed by is that Mike Frost doing a number on somebody?
Was that an overtake or was that a defence?
Oh, I don't know. It looked good either way, Mike. So, sorry, yeah, at the front we've got Tony Kloosterman, followed by Nicole Foggy and Johnny Brandon, which is your top three. Conrad falling into position number 4, and Marco Namela rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, looks like a good battle there for our teammate up against Andy Richards, driver that we don't really know, but he's a UK&I driver, so he must be good.
There's a lot of cars close together in the middle pack around Greg Carr. We got Wayne Sanderson, Richard Tam, Nathan Moore. Heck of a battle right there.
Yeah, Tony seems to have pulled a very, very slight gap on the two XVR drivers at the front.
Yeah, it's just half a second at the minute, so we'll see. We'll monitor that and see how tasty it gets. At the minute here, we've got Greg Carr, who was showing his nose to Nathan Moore shortly before, and doing it again ever so slightly there. It's funny how with these cars, when you look in the rear view mirror that is at the top of your screen when you're racing, those cars seem a hell of a lot nearer than they actually are sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, yes, they do.
It can be very intimidating. That's quite a nice paint job on Nathan Moore's car. There's a lot of chrome and metallic red on there. It's quite nice.
Yeah, that takes a lot of polishing.
Certainly does.
A little bit wild into that turn.
That's just enthusiasm. So Rich Warmingham, who's slightly in front of these guys, just posted, I think that is the fastest lap of the race. I'll be corrected, a 128.893. You expect fastest laps on lap 4, 5 and 6 for these guys, so that's an early posting if that's the one.
Yeah, it says we're on lap 5. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I believe we are.
Yeah, I think that's right, Bill. That's a good livery, that, though.
Yeah, Greg Carr, we know, is someone that's really taken to this the new version of the V8s on iRacing. He's really stuck his nose into a place he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, that was a desperate lunge, that one. At the front, the gap has come significantly down when you consider that there was less than half a second in the first place. It's now down to 0.2 of a second.
Yeah,
So
I think with
Nicole's
these,
closing on.
yeah, with these XVR boys, they're not daft. They won't race each other and let Tony get away. They'll stay in line and make sure they're up with him and then put an attack in.
Yeah, I mean, Nicole's not far off checking the shopping in the boot of Tony's car, really, is he? That's pretty close now.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, the closest
Defensive line
teammate
from
for
Tony,
Tony
sorry.
is Greg Carr.
Yeah, he's about 6 places back. Stacked him
Okay.
up there, Tony, with that defensive move, hasn't he?
Yeah, Johnny tried to move the inside of Nicole on the other side, and they almost came together there as well. I think that was kind of a defensive thing when Tony stacked them up.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not a bad tactic from Tony as well, because if he can stack the XVR boys up, that brings Conrad back into it.
That's right.
So not only are they concentrating on... Oh, there's another one round and a bit of contact.
Well, a little bit of contact. Not great, but Stephen Walker getting a bit crossed up there. Again, decent paint job. Just a little bit out of control.
Yeah, back to the battle at the front. Yeah, as I was saying, if Tony does stack these XVR boys up, Conrad gets back into it, and then Johnny's gonna, he's gonna be playing rear gunner for Nicole.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Sure.
Like we were saying,
Tony went wide. Nicole, I believe, is going to get by him.
Somebody's just dropped into either the pits or a bit of scenery.
Tony held him off. Amazing. Tony went off the road coming off turn 1 there.
Yeah, someone's in pit lane. Dean Flavel is in pit lane. He may have been the contact. Oh,
Nicole looking on the outside.
yeah, he's going to be brave to get around the outside there, but he'll be on the inside for the next turn.
He can hang in
No
there.
grip out there though.
There isn't. Look, yes, you're absolutely right. He's had to drop back in line again.
That is a great battle up front. God, that's incredible.
It's going to be 5th and 6th into it as well.
Yep.
How many laps did you say we had of this?
40 laps.
40.
4-0.
They're going to be needing a nana nap after this, I think.
Yeah. Got that right. Woo.
Yeah, they spread out as they come down to that hairpin. I'm sure that's got a name, but I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, Nicole's just settled in behind Tony again, probably cooling his tyres down, getting ready for the next attack.
The problem that I would assume you've got with Nicole, obviously I don't race at the heights that Nicole did, but he can probably overtake you on any corner on this track.
Yeah.
It's got to be intimidating.
And I think
he really poured it into turn 2 just then. Wow.
He certainly did, yes.
I
Sorry,
think
go
on
on,
this
Clyde.
track, it's all about, to make an overtake, it's all about setting the car up in front of you and making them go defensive where they don't want to, for then you to be able to have the advantage into the next corner.
Yeah, and Tony's taken that same line again, the last 3 laps. He's come round, let his momentum carry him, on the inside, prevented an overtaking opportunity from Nicole. Nicole's now going a bit wide there, I think he's overdrive, right, that particular corner. But he's managing to come out of these corners in front each time. Brilliant driving, Tony.
Into them corners, Tony really hasn't got much else to do, because if he leaves that open and Nicole gets a nose down the inside, if Tony turns in, there's an accident. If Tony doesn't turn in, he's out on the slippery stuff and Nicole's gone. So, he's got to defend, but he's doing it really well at the moment.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Yeah, and I got to believe Nicole will also. I mean, it's still early in the race. I don't think he's going to take any wild dive or anything to try to get by at this point. He's like you said, he's probably working over Tony and seeing what where he's going and what he's doing.
Yeah, and with this new tyre model as well, as we all know, you know, you overheat the tyres a little bit, and you know, they go like jelly for a few laps. So
Yeah.
sometimes you do have to just sit in and cool your tyres and then go again. But
For sure.
Comrade is all over the back of Johnny now, so and it's allowing these, because Nicole's not, well, I'd say he's not attacking, but he's just taking the racing line round this corner and Tony's defending. But fifth and sixth are slowly creeping up there.
They are definitely, yeah. Matthew Spinks is in the pits, right at the back of the field. That's a shame. He's obviously encountered some difficulties, or maybe even a wall. I know we don't want to take the cameras off these guys because this is very, very close race. A little bit further back, Greg Carr is still nailed to the back of Nathan Moore's car. Matthew Spinks is... this is what caused his trip to pit lane. Oh, not enough brakes, and you're just a passenger. Yeah, a bit of gardening. Just do the bit on the right there. All right, okay.
And our teammate Mike Frost is up 3 places from where he started, or 4.
Good man, good man.
Yep, he's
You can win this, Mike. Right, Nichols really got a wriggle on now, hasn't he?
Look at that! Wow.
There's a gap now to Johnny Brandon.
Just a slight oversteer on those corners when they come around that turn 1 there.
Yeah,
Nicole's trying a couple of feints on Tony now, but
yes, he has.
I think Tony's a bit too old and too wise to fall for them.
Yeah, there's a saying about long teeth, right?
Yep, for sure.
Everybody takes a wide splitting line through that, don't they? There's like 4 lines hairpin, according to these guys anyway. Nicole's gone really stepped out wide there so that he show his car in the mirrors of Tony. Again, I think Tony's too wise for that.
I was going to say maybe Nicole's trying to figure out if Tony's looking in his mirror or not.
Yeah, they say you shouldn't drive in your mirrors, don't they?
Yeah, how could you stand it with that guy hammering on the back of you like that? Wow.
Well, I would actually hazard a guess that Tony isn't driving in his mirrors. He knows the defensive lines around here.
Yeah.
And he's just driving them and basically saying to Nicole, you know, if you want to pass me, you're going to have to do something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, Tony is a very seasoned driver. You know, no 2 ways about it.
Unfortunately, if you're wanting somebody to do something out of the ordinary, Nicole Foggy is the man to do it usually.
And he can get away with it too.
So while these guys are busy fighting themselves clear, I want to talk about positions 6 to 10. Oh, hang on. Dean Flavel. Oh, that's a bit of... I was doing that before, mate, but I was in a dirt oval race.
That's another good save.
It is another good save, to be fair. Yeah, absolutely. So, 6th is Rich Wormingham, still holding the fastest lap of the race. 7th is Nathan Moore, which was a new name to it. Greg Carr is in 8th. Wayne Sanderson is in 9th. Richard Tam is in 10th. Jamie Wilson, who was making progress earlier, is in 11th. Kevin Dewell is in 12th. Tommy Toe is in 13th, and we're on him at the moment. There's quite a gaggle of cars around Tommy at the moment. He was in last week's Oran Park race, and he was very entertaining. Then we've got Oliver Pattock. If that's said Paytock, then I apologise. Actually, I don't, because everybody's name's different. If you want me to say it right, then let me know. Stephen Walker is in 15th, Michael Frost in 16th, Budman, I'm not going to try and say his surname, in Andy Richards in 18th, Richard Sobolewski in 19th, in 20th we have Asia, 21st is Dean Flavel, and we saw Matthew Spinks before doing a bit.
I think Matthew Spinks is gone. Just when we was on Tommy's car there, I don't know if we can get a close-up, Sam. It looked like he had some damage on the left-hand side. You might be able to see it. Sorry, it wasn't Tommy. It was the red car in front of Tommy.
Kev.
Yeah,
Kevin
he's definitely
Duval.
got some
Whoa.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah,
Johnny-
he has.
Johnny just gave Nicole Foggy a little hip check. He's moved into second place.
All right, he's decided he's had enough of being second fiddler.
Yeah, they both came together a little bit, tap side to side, a little bit.
If you can get a replay of that, Sam would appreciate it, because that sounds like it was.
It was down
bit
at
of-
turn 3, I believe.
Oh, there we go. Multi-21, mate. Get out the way. I don't know who
Looked
commands
like
that
there was
team.
a little bit of afters there as well. It seemed like the cars jumped apart for a second time.
Yeah, I think it was. Are you sure about this? Oh, yes, you are sure. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
I'm
was good.
sure if Tony is driving in his mirrors. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
we got Wayne
is that
Sanderson
Wayne?
off the track.
Oh, yes. That's a
Sure
shame.
what happened there?
No, but Wayne's a very competitive racer, so he'll be keen to get back on and get his positions back.
Yeah, looks like he's come back on track behind Jamie Wilson. Let's see. Oh, I think he just
Oh,
lost
it's a
it
wobble.
on the brakes.
Yeah, I've had that happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then as we know, these days on iRacing, you get on the grass and it's like ice. So, yeah. At least he didn't hit anything.
And another one. Who was that?
Yeah.
Somebody around Mike Frost.
Yeah, somebody in front of Mike Frost. Stephen Walker, that is.
He's got a bit of damage already on the right-hand side of his car. So he's seen somebody. Right, back at the front.
Conrad Molnar is putting a little pressure on Foggy at the moment.
He is. He's benefiting out of this, really, isn't he? He's, stay with these front guys, watch it all transpire. Who knows? I mean, I don't know much about this guy at all. He might be biding his time, seeing if these guys take each other out, because he's well in contention.
Certainly is. And he's a Florida guy, which is where I live. Florida's a big state, but to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with him at all either.
Like I said before, I've seen him in races, or I've raced with him, and I can't figure out which at the moment. So
Yeah.
He's obviously highly capable, keeping up with Tony and these two XVR guys in front of him.
And as all of us lads know, this car is not the easiest car to drive either.
It's horrible. It fights you. What we're
Conrad.
watching it.
Oh, that's a big hit. Andy
That looked
Richards into the
That looked
tyre.
like a netcode incident.
And he's lost his bonnet.
He's lost.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's lost a bit more than that.
And for you on this side of the pond, I mean his hood, but it's okay.
Conrad.
Oh, Conrad! What are you doing, son?
Conrad was taking a look.
That's a brave move. Brave move.
Foggy's going to have this inside for this corner. Yeah,
Yes,
and Conrad
yes. Johnny
bottles
had
out.
a really confident look at Tony just then.
Yeah, Johnny's really pushing.
Good effort by Conrad, though. That's good racing, that, isn't it?
Sure
Shown
is.
his done more than shown his nose there, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Marco Namella in fifth is just sitting there going, please, guys, come on, make some contact.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's
Sure.
closing on them big time, and I'm surprised that Rich Warmingham isn't closing in further as well. That just shows the pace of the guy at the /5
Yeah, I was going
guys
to
in
say,
front.
these four guys up front are really giving it some.
They're doing a sensational job. Unreal.
But I think both sides of that Kevin DeVell car are showing a bit action now, or have I just made that up? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
he's got
Wow.
company in Tommy Toe and Oliver Pattock, so
Yeah.
he's holding them off still. Though.
Yeah, Tommy Toe's got it in his toolbox, hasn't he? Because we saw him last time out doing some moves on people. So he's not shy. And
Yeah,
in fact, here we go. He's having a line up here. He's showing his face.
Yeah, Greg
Johnny's
Carr's
pushing.
been off track as well, and Richard
Oh,
Tam's
that's
got
a shame.
past him.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Brandon
Uh,
looking. Oh, boy.
Oh, Mike Frost has entered the pits. What's gone on there?
Oh, no.
Oh, Greg Carr.
Yeah, that's the Greg Carr going off track. This will
Yeah.
be where Richard Tam went past.
He went through the kitty litter.
There
That'll
he
take a
goes.
while to get rid of.
Oh, Jamie Wilson was having a bit of a moment in the background there.
Whoa, wobble. That's Rich Warmingham.
That's Rich Warmingham's off track that we mentioned earlier.
Yes, of course, yeah. Sorry.
All right, still the same
I'll catch
deal up
up.
at the front.
And there's Mike going into the pits. What's happened, Mike?
Okay, we're on lap. Excuse me, Pete. We're on lap 15 at the moment.
Plenty of action to go, guys. So keep tuning in. Tell your friends. Get them to tune in. Get them to tell their friends. So Nathan Moore nailing it down the start-finish straight, and now going sideways. Oh, and that was a decent lunge underneath Rich Warmingham. Did he make it stick? Well, that's impressive, isn't it?
He did make it stick.
He certainly did. Only just is good enough. That was an awesome piece of drive. It's happening. Oh, go on, Bill. Oh, what's happened here?
We've got Tony off.
Oh, there's going to be tears and swearing. What's this? Oh, and he's having trouble getting redirected back.
Yeah, he hit right in the tail going into the
I would love to see what happened there.
Here we go.
Oh, it was a nudge. Was it? Or did he just snap it? Can you give us a different? Can you give us a different camera angle on that, please, Sam?
That's a shame.
Was there contact?
There was definitely contact. It looked like Johnny
Oh,
was
yes.
trying to throw one down the inside, and either Tony was slower than he expected or he misjudged. But hard to call that one, although...
I think that one's going to fill the replay reels for a while, I think.
Foggy's in the pits, so... Well, this must be a pit stop race.
Foggy?
Oh, it must be.
Perhaps they haven't got fuel to do
All right,
the 40
Tony's
laps.
coming in. Tony's coming into the pits as well. Tony
will be coming in case, I guess, because his tyres will now be melted. So for the viewers at home, it doesn't take much to throw these tyres completely off their grip level, and it takes a long time to get them back down to temperature. So it might be tactically an advantage to pit now. But you're right, Tony and Foggy dropping down the field in pit lane. It'll be interesting to see what Conrad and Johnny do as a response.
Nicholas Foggy's on his way out again. Nicole,
right.
I'm sorry, not Nick. Okay.
What about Tony? Do you know?
He's on his way out now. He's just left.
Right.
Okay, here he comes, coming back out on track.
Mike, what you doing, mate?
Cold tyres.
Yeah. Cold tyres and a bit of gardening. Just get that Budlier on the left, that'd be great. Oh, right.
So let's see if these two think about pitting.
Do you think it really is a pit stop race? 40 laps is quite a long way, isn't it?
It is a long race, yeah. 2.7 mile lap as well.
That's true, yep.
I suppose we should have asked somebody, shouldn't we?
That's far too professional.
It is really, isn't it? Oh, Conrad, go on, lad. Get it done. He's on the inside, he's got him. But the next turn, oh, he's done him. That was a good block
That was a great move, yeah.
That was splendid.
It was,
wow, impressive.
Get your gonads out of your underpants and just hang them out.
You're right.
You're not kidding.
And be brave with it as well. He'd do well in race tech, wouldn't he?
Yeah, the pass is not the difficult bit. It's the getting the car slowed down for the corner that's the difficult bit. Marco Nabella's in the pits.
Yeah.
Greg
There's a bit
Carr
of
in the pits.
Yeah, so this is clearly a pit stop race that I didn't foresee, that's for sure. That adds a wonderful aspect to this race.
And that's Oliver Paddock.
Ooh, bit of a wig.
Conrad Molnar's actually pulling away from Johnny a little bit.
Is he really?
Not
he
a whole
as well.
lot. Not a whole lot, but he put a little space in there.
Now, we've seen in the Race Tech V8 ESC League that if you pit early, sometimes you get a massive advantage on better tyres.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see if Tony and Nicole have played a fantastic card.
Well, I thought I was imagining things earlier, but when Nicole fell back to third behind Johnny Brandon earlier.
Oh dear. Where are you going, Mark? Oh, that was good. That was a great recovery. Sorry, Bill. Go for it.
That's okay. He looked like he was turning right to go left, which tells me that he's oversteering like crazy. So I wonder if his tires gave up early. So that might be the reason that he pitted early. Yeah.
And is that
Nicole
right, sorry,
back marker.
Yeah. Oh, and a lock-up from Johnny.
Tommy Toes in the pits. Richard Tam has pitted as well.
Wayne Sanderson is in the pits. He's now leaving.
Let's see if these fellas pit this time. Conrad's coming through. What was that? Lukey Heights. Lukey Heights, yep.
I'm hoping there's someone called Lukey in the world. I've just shown how ignorant I am, but never mind. So, remind me, it was Nicole that had contact with Tony, or it was Johnny?
Johnny.
It was Johnny. Yeah, that might last into our podcast. When's the next podcast? Are you doing the next podcast, Clyde?
Yeah, hopefully.
I did the last controversial one. It lasted for about 3 hours, as I remember.
The podcast is a week from Monday, though, correct?
Yep, yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, these guys have stayed out again.
Well, I'll tell you, Conrad Molnar's put a little distance on Johnny. Not a lot, but
he's got the skills, hasn't he? He really does. Oh, that's a bit of a dented car.
Yeah, Matthew Spinks there with a redesign of the right-hand side of his car and just can't get it stopped.
Yeah, he's got tyres like 50p's now, but 50 pence pieces, that is, for anybody outside the UK.
And at the moment, Nathan Moore is in third, and he's not real 2 or 3 seconds behind, I guess. Not too bad.
Yeah, a lock-up from Azia. Oh, and a spin.
Thing. Yeah, and then
he wanted some real style points there.
Yeah, too happy on the loud pedal, getting back on the track.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I'd never done that before.
That sounds familiar.
Uthman's in the pits, nearly in the pits.
Oh, he's doing a bit of
ploughing.
Trying
to get back in the pits, takes the cone out.
Yeah, didn't like that cone, did he? Yellow's never
but
a good colour.
But he didn't hit the wall. That's the main thing. Oh, there's a big wall in front of Wayne Sanderson there.
That's a code brown for anybody, that one.
Yeah, that was Richard Sobolewski.
It was.
Stephen Walker now trying to take a position.
Oh, and he's done it.
The position to Marco Numella, although I think, no, Stephen's not a lap down, so that was for position.
Yeah, that was a position pass. Rich Warmingham is in pit lane, so he's going to drop down the field a bit again. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. So I'm assuming, because there's been so much going on, this has been a fantastic race, that Conrad, Johnny and Nathan and Jamie still haven't pitted.
I know Conrad and Johnny.
Conrad is just, well, the back end of that car is all over the place.
It is. Yes,
got to be thinking about pit.
Drive it like you nicked it, Conrad. Just keep the loud pedal going.
They're headed for the heights right now. Let's see if they stop this time.
I mean, that's pretty tasty speed through there from Rich Warmingham anyway. He's now on the back of Tony Kloosterman, so as I understand it, Tony's lost out there, right?
No, I think Tony has just gone past Rich Warmingham.
Well, that means he must have lost out even further if he ended up behind him. Unless Rich Warmingham... No, Rich Warmingham's pitted.
Yeah, he has pitted, yeah.
So Tony's lost out hugely.
I'm not sure how many places Tony lost with that contact with Johnny Brandon, though.
Right.
It took him a while to get back on track.
Yeah, he was back in front of Michael Frost when Mike was in, I think, 15th, so he lost quite a few places.
Yeah, because Rich wasn't that far behind that battle, was he?
No. He was in, I believe, 5th place.
We appear to have lost Andy Richards. He's disconnected, so he's obviously had a crash of some sort.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's a shame. So still out front is Conrad. He's got a 1.3 second lead-ish over Nicole. We got a bit of straight on that corner.
Over Johnny Brandon. Over Johnny.
Sorry,
Brandon.
Johnny Brandon. My
That's
apologies.
okay. It's okay.
That's Asia taking the scenic route round whatever corner that was. Mike, mate, keep it on the track. Oh no. You've seen these magnolias before. You've already tended to these plants.
Yes, he's been off there before. We had a question in the chat from Chris Jackson about the track temp. It's currently 79 degrees.
Okay.
Mike's doing all right though, isn't he? So
Yeah,
argue with
we're still waiting for these front two to pit.
is that
Yeah,
Tony?
they're still going.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see who blinks first, or whether they're both running it
Yeah.
dry and coming in together.
They just started their 23rd lap, so got to be pretty soon, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Wait a minute, are we running restricted fuel when they start? I don't even know. I'm not sure.
It's an official race, so
Yeah, I know it. I know. I didn't know if there's a.
yeah.
Or not.
I don't think so. There was a lockup from Rich Warmingham there as he was following Tony through that corner. They hold very close car numbers, so Tony is car number 3 and Rich is car number 5. For those of you new to iRacing, the car number reflects your iRating, and therefore how successful you are as a racer in terms of getting either race victories or high results in a. So the lower your number, so car number 1 has a higher rating than car number 22.
Yeah, so basically the car numbers are a prediction of the finishing result for the race. So in theory, cars should finish 1 through to 22. So
Right.
if you are car 5 and finish in the top 4, you're doing better than your iRating.
Oh, and Rich Warmingham,
Having a
hello.
go here.
I don't think he's going to do it because the next turn is left.
That
He's
is
at
the
the
trouble
front.
with overtaking on this track. It's a
Yeah.
left followed by a right, followed by a left, followed by a right.
And that's what makes it exciting, though. It's a great track, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we were saying earlier, how you can set drivers up and make them defend somewhere that they don't want to, which then compromises their position into the next corner. And that's how you make your overtake.
This really
See, I
is.
thought... Sorry, Bill.
No, that's okay. Go ahead, Pete.
I thought Tony was taking defensive lines before, but he's doing it now. And is that just the line he takes? I don't really know. So Utman, we're watching... Oh no, this is live footage. So he's closing right in on the back of Asia. Asia had done a bit of landscaping recently, so that's probably why that's happening. Oh,
Yeah, and Rich is definitely having a go at Tony. So Chris is telling us we are restricted to 20.5 gallons, so
Okay.
around
75%.
25 laps maximum. So these guys at the front must be getting towards fumes.
Up. Conrad
Oh,
Molnar's
oh,
in the
oh.
pits. He's in the pits. Johnny kept going. Johnny
Oof.
Brandon is still
Okay,
running.
so this is where Johnny needs to do the lap of his life and the pit stop of his life.
yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see where Nicole gets into all this.
Well, saying that, in the interim between the pit stops, Nicole has done his fastest lap of the race, the fastest lap of the race at a 1:28.7. So that's going to play into his favour. It will be
Yeah.
fascinating to figure out where this all transpires to balance off.
We need to see if Nicole comes out in front of Conrad, which
He's done
he
it.
is definitely.
He's done
by a
All
it.
right,
long way.
Conrad's coming out of the
Yeah.
pits now, and Nicole is gone by.
Yep. Jane Austen could have written a novel in the time that he's taken to get out of that pit lane.
Yeah.
So I'd expect
Okay,
Johnny
Johnny-
Brandon in this lap.
Yep. Johnny Brandon's coming up.
Oh, there's a flashing car there. I can't remember who that is now. Car 15. That must be
Car 15
Azia.
is Azia, yeah.
Yeah, he's got connection issues potentially. I shouldn't really talk about that, should I? Utman is definitely closing on Azia, and behind them.
Johnny
Sorry,
did
mate, go
not
on.
pit. Johnny did not pit. He went by
He's
again.
gone again.
Okay, so in the meantime, Dean Flavel and Stephen Walker have pitted, as has Nathan Moore.
Yeah, Nathan Moore, he's one of the front runners. That's going to be an interesting situation. He holds car number 11, so he's, you could argue, technically
This
punching
is a
above his weight.
battle on screen.
It is, yeah. Utman, Azia, and is it Richard Sobielski? Sobolewski, sorry.
There's dodging, there's weaving, there's flashing of
Lights
light.
flashing. Why are you flashing your lights? Never mind. As everybody who knows from our broadcast, I really don't like that.
Me either.
That
I'm with
turned
you, Pete.
into a good overtake.
It did turn into a good overtake. If you're lapping someone, fair enough. That's just annoying. Quit it. Right now.
Get out those
Ooh,
side cutters.
Flash away, my
Azia.
friend. See? Flash your lights, other car goes off the track, you get the position. That's how
And
it
that's
works.
wrong, right?
Yeah, get out those side cutters.
Right, here we go. So Greg Carr closing on the back of Nathan Moore, who has just pitted. So Nathan's probably got fresher tyres than Greg, but that doesn't necessarily mean a benefit at this point because he's on his first laps out. So they're going to be quite lively tyres, aren't they?
Well, I think Johnny Brandon must have had a discussion with Mike Talian.
Yeah,
he's still going. He's still going.
He's got to pit though, right?
Got to pit.
So what's this tactic then?
I guess he wants really good tires at the end or something. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
you look,
that's the only thing I can think of is run the tank dry, shortest possible amount of time in the pits, just to get enough fuel to the end, and hope that by the time you come out, you're not that far behind and your tyres are so much better that you can just drive past me.
Well,
like
now-
Conrad's about to do now.
Now, what's the deal? Has Jamie Wilson been in yet? I don't believe he's been in either, has he?
No, Jamie hasn't been in either. So we're now
Okay,
on
so actually-
lap 26.
Theoretically, Nicole Foggy's in the lead, but he's, what, 30 some seconds behind Johnny right now, right?
Yeah, but if you look at the times, so Johnny's last time was a 129 point. Then you look at Foggy, who's got a one. Mike's
Who's there? Conrad on Marco, sorry. Marco.
Yeah, sorry. I was more interested.
Okay, Johnny
in watching
Brandon
the
just
Vulcan
pitted.
car.
He's coming in the pit lane now.
Yeah, and my point was 129.1 was Johnny's last lap. Nichols was a 128.7. Sorry,
Yeah.
shout out to Conrad at the same time. A 128.4 makes him the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, it almost
And
seems
that's
like
gonna take
Johnny,
some beating.
it almost seems like
So-
Johnny's waited a lap or two too long, really.
I think so.
Well, Johnny's
That's my point.
stationary. Jamie Wilson is in the pits.
But he had to pit, I think. I think this is the boundary now.
I'm just watching Nicole now, and he's going to
Gotta go
screen
past.
past the guys in the pits.
As is Conrad, I think.
All right, Johnny's on his way out. He's just exiting now.
Maybe not.
Yeah, this is going to be.
Oh, this is going to be tight. Conrad's gone through as well. So where are we going to end up here?
So Johnny
Johnny's
Brandon
gonna
is
come
in fourth.
With Tony right behind him, is that right?
Not right behind
Not right
him, but
behind him. Oh,
next
God, right.
position.
Yeah, with a back marker of a very stylish looking car in between.
Yes. Very nicely done, yes.
Look at the paint job on that car he's overtaking now.
Beautiful. Magnificent.
He backed right out of that bike. Well done.
So Rich Warmingham sat on the boot list, you could argue, of Tony Klusterman, followed by Nathan Moore, who I don't know much about, but his car has got a fantastic paint job, and he's right up there.
Yeah, Nicole's got a 4.5 second lead over Conrad.
That's immense. That's tactically brilliant. Oh, Richard, what are you doing, mate?
Got a tap from behind there.
Oh, did he?
From
I didn't
Nathan
see the
Moore.
contact.
I think that's what it looked like anyway.
Right.
The battle at the moment is going to be, can Johnny Brandon with his new tyres get back onto the podium past Marco Namella?
He's less than a second behind, but that's quite a long way in a V8, isn't it?
It is, but his tyres are a lot fresher.
Oof, what? That's a move. Nathan Moore on Richard Warmingham.
Yeah, Nathan Moore's been up there all race, hasn't he? So although we don't know him, he's definitely not on
Johnny. Excuse me, Johnny Brandon's closing in now on Marco Namella already.
Yes, he is. He's on him.
He might get him right here. No,
He's not going to do him here, but he's locked his fronts as
up.
yeah, that's not
Marco's
good.
got
Marco went wide. Okay.
He's got the right cut. Oh, he's done him.
He's in third now. Yep.
I'm pretty.
An easy pass, really.
I'm pretty sure I blinked and he had like a 1 second lead.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, Matthew Spinks, is that?
Yeah. That was a straight on corner. Need to
Come on,
redesign
son,
the track.
get it back
for that
on
one.
the track and keep going.
Shouldn't have reset. You should have just kept going. Oh, and
Oh,
as he
again, he's certainly getting used to this grass cutting.
he's good at that. Yeah, he just needs
That's
to
why
lead.
his paint is green.
Yes.
Hides the evidence.
Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, it was good.
Somebody's going to replace my job mowing the lawn. Jeez.
Nobody's going to replace you, Bill.
Nah, thank goodness. Thank goodness for the thank goodness for the racing community. Okay. All right, let's see. Johnny is what? He's about a little more than a second and a half behind Conrad Molnar. And almost
Conrad has taken half a second out of Foggy as well.
And Johnny's Johnny's 10 seconds behind Foggy, and we have about 10 laps to go. So he's got his work cut out for him, let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely. I think the person at most risk at the moment. Well, Johnny's into the top three.
Yep.
Conrad's his next victim, and he's only 1.2 seconds behind that, and he's reeling that in massively.
Yep.
He's already. I'm pausing in my statement because it's about to happen. Under a second behind him. Oh, he's just extended it. I'm going to be here forever. Somebody else talk for a minute. Oh, he's under a second now. There we go. He's turning possibly the fastest lap of the race.
So who's the back marker there in front of Conrad?
Utman.
Yeah. So Conrad really needs him to get out of the way.
That's not going to happen. I'll vouch that one straight away. Oh, he has.
Got him, yeah.
Done him, yeah. Have we got a replay?
This
No.
is our dodgy camera.
move.
moving away.
Well done, Utman.
So Tommy Toe, he's got Kevin Duell in his rearview mirror, massive in his rearview mirror, and lining him up for an overtake.
I don't know. I think Johnny's losing the Mr. Feelgood on his tires a little bit now.
Yeah, and Conrad continues to eke into Foggy's gap.
He does, but it's 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, and we're on lap 31 now, so we are rapidly running out of laps.
We are, and Johnny is now 0.3 of a second, or
Yeah, Johnny just took a massive lump out of Conrad there, and Conrad didn't lose anything to Foggy, so that must be Brandon's tyres.
Stay tuned, folks. This is going to be one heck of a finish, let me tell you.
He's probably in that nice sweet spot now.
So are we three having a bet here? Is it a hero's hero?
He's sizing him up.
He is, isn't he?
He's going to get him. He's going to get him
He
on
might
the
get
straight.
him right now.
Yep.
If he's got, no, he's not going to do that. I thought it looked closer on the other camera angle.
Yeah.
But he's going to reel him in.
He might get him out of the next corner though.
Kevin Duell has got past Tommy Toe.
All right. That looked reasonably inevitable, but on my timing screen, he's not in front of him yet.
Trust.
So a wide turn in from John puts him right on the boot lid of Conrad Molnar, who's had a fantastic race, it has to be said, and who pulls away a little bit.
Yep. Kudos to Conrad. He's doing a wonderful job. Absolutely.
He's a brilliant driver of this car.
Absolutely magnificent.
They flash past a back marker who I'm not sure who that was, but never mind. And they dive down the hill into this hairpin. Johnny locks his left front again. That's not going to do him any favours.
The back marker was Richard Sobolewski. Moved over very nicely.
He did, yeah. It was a good move. You don't want to get involved in somebody else's race for the top two positions.
Well, these two guys have kind of stabled out between each other here.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their fastest times, in inverted commas, Conrad's done a 128.449 and Johnny's done a 128.46.
Johnny's very close right now. Wow.
Well, he's pushing him around the corner, basically, isn't he?
On him. Oh, got a little squirrely there.
Yep. That'd be
someone was squirrely in the background as well.
That was Richard Sobolewski again.
Yeah, he's practicing his drifting.
Yeah. He'll join me in a dirt race tomorrow. It's fine. Oh, we got a replay of. Oh, we've seen Stephen Walker do that before. Yeah, I thought it was a replay of a replay, but no, he's back on the track.
Johnny was turning right to go left that time. Wow.
That's sometimes how Johnny seems to get some speed out of corners. Is that a car on the grass in front of them?
I don't see where you're looking, but...
No. Oh, I was making it up. So we've lost Andy Richards and we've lost Matthew Spinks. He's retired from the race. That's very sad, but true still.
Must have been all that talk about mushrooms earlier on, Pete, that scrambled your mind. Richards off again.
Richard Sobolewski doing a bit of sideways motion.
I thought Conrad was pulling over that time. Looked like he pulled way left that time going down the straightaway. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, Johnny's got the traction beam out and he's trying to reel in himself at Conrad. And we can see from the timing screens that Conrad's no slouch. He's got the speed in his car. He's doing what Tony was doing before now and sitting out in the
Johnny's line. Trying to get inside of him.
Yeah, but he got a lot of wheel spin. He's not going to get the traction.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe we'll have a replay of the Tony Klusterman nudging incident.
I've got a Nathan Moore has crashed somewhere as well.
Oh, really?
That's too bad. He was doing very well.
Yeah, there's a bit of tyre smoke there from the car in front of these two.
I'm sorry to the rest of the people. I just can't take my eyes off these two guys. What a nice battle this is between Conrad Molnar and Johnny
That was a bit messy.
I'm not sure what I just watched. I almost want to watch it again because it was a strange piece of footage. It was like 20 cars all on the same bit of tarmac. So that's Tony, right? And some other people.
To me, it looks
like a carry-on film.
Yeah, Oakman was trying to get out of the way, but he was in the middle of the track and couldn't.
And then we had Richard Sobolewski also involved in it. And then Gutman's ended up taking on a whole load of damage. It was just bizarre. I can't even begin to commentate on that. So Johnny taking a wide line into this turn in order to try and get some sort of drive and pressure Conrad. Nicole Foggy's still out in the lead by nearly 3 seconds, which isn't great for his sponsors because he doesn't get any camera footage because these guys are closer together than he is.
Yeah, but when they come out after the pit stop, he was 4.5 seconds in front.
No, you're right. That is fascinating actually because they are pulling him in, but have they got enough laps left?
Yeah, so Conrad is actually not rapidly, but he is pulling in time and also defending from Johnny Brandon. This is going to be Richard crashing again.
And Jamie Wilson
just went straight off.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson getting another position.
Well, it's a good thing that Conrad Molnar doesn't live in the UK because I would have a feeling by the weekend he'd have an XVR car. He's doing a great job, I'll tell you.
Yeah. He's got an XVR car rammed up his backside at the minute.
He sure does.
He's got a bit of a gap at the moment, to be fair.
Well, he's strong on this side of the track. When they go down the straightaway, Johnny is right on him through the first couple of corners. Then after that tough, tight 90-degree corner, whatever it's called. What is that? Is that Stoner? Anyway, right after that, he kind of... Oh, Johnny got very squirrely that time, lost some time. And we're on lap 36, so...
Yeah, so...
And they can actually see Nicole now, which is always a help.
That's bizarre. So Greg Carr's latched onto the back of Nathan Moore's, and he's 0.6 of a second behind him. So that's a close battle there. Further back, Kevin Duell is 0.9 of a second-ish behind Tommy Toe, who was so entertaining last time out.
Got another crash from Richard.
Oh,
just
that was him
just
nipping out of the screen.
Yeah, I don't know if he just went straight on like he did in the previous lap.
Johnny closing up here, down that straightaway. And in this next corner, he's very good too. He's right on him, but after this, it seems that Conrad Molnar pulls away.
Yeah, Nicole Foggy's gapped these guys now a little bit. He's back to nearly 3 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, Johnny's got 4.5 laps to get something done here.
Yeah.
Or Conrad's got 4.5 laps to defend it, whichever way you want to look at it.
Johnny's not going to want to sit there, is he?
He's tough question. I don't know.
Johnny definitely won't settle for third. He wants second.
That's
no.
Yeah. Whether he can do anything about Conrad, just watching Conrad from this onboard with Johnny, he's put his car in the right places.
Absolutely, yeah. And just running through the top 10 before we don't get a chance again. So your race leader is Nicole Foggy. He's got a lead of 2.5 seconds at the moment. Second is Conrad Molnar. Third, right on Conrad's tail, is Johnny Brandon. Marco Nemela is in fourth. Tony Klusterman, who was leading this race, you'll remember, until an incident with Johnny early on, is in fifth. Rich Warmingham is in sixth, who once had the fastest lap of the race. Nathan Moore is in 7th, Greg Carr is in 8th, Richard Tam is in 9th, and Jamie Wilson is in 10th.
It's almost like Johnny's doing some tire cooling right now. He's backed off a little bit.
Yeah, he's dropped back to like 0.6, 0.7 of a second, which in these cars is quite a long way.
He's not pushing around the corner real hard either, like he's trying to keep his tires straight. maybe get him cooled down a little bit for the last couple laps.
Yeah, you got Greg Carr here following Nathan Moore. Nathan Moore's got to the front right of his car. You can tell because you can see the front of his right-hand driver's side tyre.
Ah,
Go on, Bill.
no, I just said ah.
All right.
Our teammate Mike Frost and Dean Flavel are having a bit of a battle at the moment. I keep seeing that they're passing each other.
You could
Go, Mikey.
Yeah, put some cameras on that, will you, Sam?
Go, Mikey.
There you go. Oh, Mike's got a bit of damage to the sponsor side of his car on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Are we on the white
Dean-
flag lap?
No.
Not yet.
No?
I don't.
Okay.
We're on lap 39 at the moment.
Oh,
Lap
that's right,
38,
okay.
sorry.
Okay.
There's Nathan Moore.
Two
Again.
more at the end of this lap.
Yeah, Conrad Molnar has pulled out a gap over Johnny now of 1.2
Yes, he-
seconds.
Yes, he
Yeah,
has.
could be that Johnny's minced his tyres.
I think he's probably pushed a hell of a lot.
Definitely.
Now needs to regroup potentially for the last maybe lap and a half, 2 laps. I don't know what we've got left.
He's beginning to lose his draft though. He's getting back a little too far, I think. But
How long
we'll
does
have
the
to see.
draft? How far does the draft reach?
Oh, what? 4 or 5 car lengths, maybe.
So about 1.2 seconds ish.
Well, I suppose. I guess he's still kind of in range. Depends where you are too on the straightaways.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah,
dropping
obviously.
back fast now. He's nearly a second and a half behind now.
I've got Asia having another crash somewhere.
Oh,
Currently running in 20th position.
yeah, and the one lap
we
down.
have the white flag.
All right.
Okay, so here we go, guys. This is it. Nicole Foggy's crossed the line already with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, 2.5 second lead. So,
Yeah,
barring any mistakes, not a problem for Nicole. That's 2 wins on the trot whilst we've been broadcasting. And it looks like Kevin Molnar, I think Johnny has just minced his tyres or something because he's not really anywhere near him at the moment.
you just call him Kevin Molnar.
Like that,
Conrad Molnar, yeah.
Oh, slow moving traffic there.
It's called doing a Bingham.
For those of you watching, I can hardly ever get anybody's name. Every time I get, you should do either a drinking challenge, as in you down your drink when I get one right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, or a little cheer. Either one will do me.
Okay, so Nicole Foggy after this has got 1 last left-hand turn to go, which I'm sure he won't make any mistakes. And 2 weeks on the trot, your winner is Nicole Foggy.
And here comes Conrad Molnar in 2nd place.
Good
Johnny
effort,
Brandon
Nicole.
3rd. Congratulations, Nicole. Good job. Nice strategy.
Yeah, Johnny wasn't able to break Conrad, or rather, Conrad was too strong for Johnny either way, really.
Marco Namella in 4th. Tony Kloosterman comes across the line in 5th. Rich Warmingham 6th. Nathan Moore 7th. Greg Carr 8th.
Richard Tam in 9th. I'm waiting for Jamie Wilson. He's a good 6 seconds back, but he's done it. 10th for Jamie Wilson, 11th Wayne
Still a
Sanderson.
battle going on right to the end here.
Wow, look at that. That was a save and a half. Which car's the red one?
That's Kevin Duell.
That was a save of the century going on there. Tommy Toe beats him to the line though. So Tommy Toe in 12th. 13th is Kevin Duell. Oliver Patrick not far behind them in 14th. Stephen Walker will hopefully cross in 15th.
Say Oliver Patrick.
Yep. Sorry, what did I say? Patrick, yeah. Patok. just to prove the point that we made before. Stephen Walker in 15th. Utman's already crossed the line in 16th. 17th is Michael Frost. Dean Flavel got 18th. 18th. Richard Sobolewski in 19th. Azier in 20th. Matthew Spinks in 21st. And Andy Richards in 22nd.
So, guys, hell of a race there. It was all happening. The pit stop, well, obviously there was the contact between Johnny and Tony, which I'm sure I've just heard Johnny apologising for. And then the pit stops, and then we had the big shakeout at the end. So that was a fantastic race.
It certainly was. It was very exciting. Excellent competition all through the ranks. Glad all the guys showed up. They all did an excellent job. Congratulations to Nicole Foggy and certainly congratulations to our new guy Conrad Molnar. Obviously he has experience driving, but it's the first time we've had him here, so did a magnificent job. And of course, hats off to Johnny Brandon, Marco Namella, and Tony Klusterman. Even though he got whacked in the back, made a pretty good comeback. Ended up 5th. I know it's not what he wants, but he was way down the order, so he made a good comeback.
Yeah, that was I don't remember a minute of that race where I wasn't talking about something exciting. That was fantastic.
Really.
Right from the very start, that was phenomenal. Conrad Molnar, not only has he kept Johnny Brandon behind him, who we know is utterly capable, he's posted the fastest lap of the race. He's given us a huge amount of entertainment. Marco Namela behind Johnny, but the silent top 5 driver didn't feature much in the broadcast. But how capable must he be in order to end up 4th in a field like this? And yeah, Tony, given all of what we saw going on, that'll all transpire in the podcast, no doubt. Is that Monday, Clyde? I can't remember what you said about the podcast. When was that?
Week on Monday. Yeah.
Week on Monday. I'm sure there'll be conversations about that. 5th for him. Just brilliant race. What can you say? Every corner was a challenge.
Yeah, and something I'd like to add as well, which you don't always get from the official races. It was a very clean race. There was lots of off tracks and people out breaking themselves, but as far as contacts and big crashes, there wasn't a great deal to talk about apart from the Brandon Klusterman incident and maybe the one where the guy stopped in the middle of the track to let everybody past.
Yeah, it's been a very clean, very professional race. Even the ones that went off track, like you're saying, they did a bit of gardening. They trimmed the verge. They sorted out the azaleas, but they rejoined safely every time, and you don't often see that in official racing.
No, you don't. And if you ever read the forum, guys always complaining about, I'm always getting taken out by idiots and this, that, and the other thing. They should watch this race. I'm telling you right now, this was, like you both said, a very clean, professional-looking race, and a lot of competition in there, whether you were in the back or the front. And that's the way you want it, and it was an excellent show. I'm certainly glad I was here to see it.
Okay, guys. Well, we've got Johnny Brandon waiting in the interview room, so I'll bring him up, and you can let loose on him with his incident with Tony Klusterman.
Certainly.
Johnny, welcome to the booth.
Evening.
Hey,
Evening,
Johnny.
So we've got one question for you.
Hold on a minute. Just let me put my head guard on.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So we've only got one question. Can you guess what it is?
No.
So we saw Tony taking multiple laps of very defensive lines into the first hairpin. I forget what the turn is called, even if it is called one. And at a point, it seemed that Tony still took that line. He braked potentially earlier than you expected him to, and there was contact made.
Yeah, completely my fault.
That was your fault.
100%.
Oh, okay.
100%. I didn't get a contact for it, and I think it was a bit netcoded. I had nothing for it, but the way it went off, and I looked at it back. I've obviously hit him.
You went
He
off.
was very slow into there. He was very early on the brakes for most of the race, but that's my problem, not his. So, you know, it's totally on me that. So I have to put my hands up to that. And yeah, not good. Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah,
we were
not good.
wondering. We kind of felt that you might have pit stopped a little bit too late. Do you feel that way? Or do you
Way too late.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I sort of put all my eggs in one basket because my tyres felt okay, and I just kept going and going and going until the fuel ran out.
yeah.
We've only done. We did like an hour of practice for this yesterday, or about 45 minutes of just trying different setups to see what one worked, and then we had no idea about strategy. I think
Yeah.
Foggy was really struggling with his tyres from the early part of the race, so he decided to go early because his tyres were struggling.
I was going to
so
say
badly.
you kind of side to side with him when you got by him, and
I didn't mean to go by him. I actually locked up, and I was on the Discord going, "Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!" and sort of went up the inside.
I'll tell you one guy we were impressed with was the guy that was in front of you, Conrad Molnar. He had a heck of a race today. Let me tell you.
He's brilliant. He's been a long-standing quick guy in the V8s. We've raced him, Foggy and myself, a few times now in officials.
Oh, really?
Going back a few months. Yeah, he's not completely new on the scene to the V8. He's been doing it for a while.
Oh, we can tell it's not. We can
and
tell
he's
it's not
very
his. We can tell it's not his first rodeo. I mean, that guy goes pretty well. And the thing that we haven't encountered him. That's because we're slow. We're not fast like you, so we never see him. But but he did a heck of a job.
I'd prefer not to see him, but I saw a little bit too much of him today.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, after your pit stop, you made a lot of fast ground, passed guys quick. When you got behind him, you were working hard, and it looked like you burned your tires up a little bit trying to get by him. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a lot lower wing than me, put it that way, because I had a lot more pace. When I caught him, I still had a lot of pace for sort of 2 or 3, 4 laps over him. But I just couldn't get past him anywhere, and on the straight, I just couldn't catch up to him because he was so fast. So it was pretty much impossible unless I did a big dive. I was hoping he was going to make a mistake. I give him a bit of a flash.
Well,
I hope he made a mistake, but it didn't work, and fair play to him. He had a great race.
I have to say, you know, we were talking about this during the broadcast. People on the forum all the time bitching about, you know, terrible driving and this, that, and the other thing. They should watch this race. We all commented what basically a clean race it was. I mean, people went off-road, and that kind of stuff, but really no bad stuff, really, to be perfectly honest with you.
Apart from me and Tony.
Well, hey.
But that was... that wasn't good. I'm pretty ashamed of that, but
yeah, but you know, when you race close together, it happens, Johnny. You know, whether I don't care how good you are, it's going to happen to you. So, you know,
I'm not sure why he was so slow. I mean, again, that's my problem, not his. But I don't know why he was so slow.
Well, I think that's where you hit him. That's his defensive line. You know, because it's hard to pass on that other side, as you're well aware. You don't get any traction out there.
He was braking very early there, which was
exactly.
a surprise. But he was doing it every lap, so it's, you know, again, it's completely my fault, that move, and I've apologised to him. And as I said, I didn't get anything come up, so I wasn't sure I had contact other than the way he went off the track in front of me. I was like, hold on a minute, I think I might have just been Tony. And when I look back on the replay, it's clear I've hit him. So, but again, I didn't get anything come up. I had a 0x for the race.
Well, you did a good job, mate. It was a pleasure watching you.
It was a fantastic race for me. I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe. That doesn't normally happen to me. It was a long one.
Any shout outs, Johnny?
Yes, the usual stuff. Thanks to you guys for doing a stream on a Friday night for the official races here. It's making an instant impression. Look, I mean, I can't tell you the last time we had 20 people in a European official race on a Friday night. It's fantastic to see. So long may it continue. So thanks to you guys. I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure he didn't have too much of a pop at me when I punted Tony off.
Only a little bit.
Thanks to XVR, obviously all my teammates, Power Max Racing, Host 365, VRA Virtual Racing Association, the usual people. So yeah, thanks very much, guys.
Cool. Thank you very much, Johnny. Clyde, who have we got next?
Okay, so next we're going to bring in Marco Namela, 4th place finisher. Marco, welcome to the booth.
Hello, hello.
Great finish there for you, 4th place. Was you expecting to do well here, or did the pit stops and the bit of contact with Johnny and Tony help you out to your 4th?
Yeah, I think that helped me, but yeah, I was just struggling with the tires the whole race, so I couldn't push at all. That's
I
the
don't know.
result.
I think you did pretty well, Marco. You came in 4th place very silently. You did a hell of a job, in my opinion. It's not an easy place to race, and of course, as we know, this car isn't easy to drive either.
Yeah. But it was fun.
You seem
absolutely.
You seem to have quite a steady race, Marco. You didn't get in any tangles with anybody. You did nice, clean overtakes, and made it to the end. So, was that your tactic from the start?
No, I just wanted to, I wanted to stay on the front group, and then just look after the tires and see what happens at the end. That was my plan.
Cool. That's excellent. Have you got any shout-outs for anybody?
Richard in the chat cheering for me, and my team, Racecraft Esports. Yeah. And you guys.
Excellent stuff. We'll see you in the Race Tech V8 League not too far in the future.
Thanks, Marco. Take care.
Thanks.
Who's next, Clyde?
Okay, guys, next I've brought in Richard Tam, somebody that we haven't spoken to in the past. Good evening and welcome to the booth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Overall, good race for you, 9th position. Better than you expected, or worse, or where you expected to be in the race?
Honestly, it was a little better than I expected. I was kind of surprised to even start 10th, because there were a lot of really good drivers here. So, yeah, I remember last week in Oran Park, everyone who qualified ahead of me also qualified ahead of me here in Phillip Island. So, yeah, I was not that surprised about qualifying, but the result was a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Have you raced?
Sorry, you seem to have a great race. Obviously, we know a few of these fast guys in here, and they are fast week in, week out. So it must be good for you to perhaps not keeping up with them, but still showing good pace and coming out sort of top of the midfield.
Yeah, some of these guys, I think we raced last night as well, and Tony and Greg, and I was a little closer this race than last race, so definitely a little bit of baby steps. I know they've had a lot more experience than me in the car, and I've kind of been splitting my time between Supercars and the Nürburgring 24, so I haven't had a ton of prep here, but I'm still happy with what I've been able to do with the time that I've had in the car this week.
Awesome. Pete, sorry, I cut you off. What was you about to ask?
I was going to say, do you race regularly with the guys that finished either in front of you or behind you in this race?
Yeah, I've been, since the car was released, I've basically been racing it full time. So, I don't know. I always liked this car, just the older generation with the older tire model. I could never figure it out. But once
you're not alone.
Yeah. So once we had the new car and the new tire model, it felt a lot better and a lot more controllable. And I really like challenge drive cars. So yeah, this is definitely one of them.
There you go. Well, you picked the right one for that. I'll tell you, good man.
Yeah, you'll have to join us in the V8 EST League and see how we get on with that. It'd be good practice for you, if nothing else. So, have you got any shout-outs to anybody tonight?
I would say thanks to Tommy. He was racing with me today. We were in Discord in another server, so thanks to him. I know, as I mentioned, I know Tony pretty well. Greg. Usually in the races, whether it's on Thursday nights or Friday nights Eastern time, there's a lot of Australians. So they're always very, very tough to beat. Just kind of having this little group of non-Australians try and compete to the best of our ability. It's always fun to race.
Good man.
That's all good. You did really well tonight.
Yep.
Thank
Congratulations.
you very much, Richard.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to talk to you guys next week or the week after.
Likewise.
Yeah, excellent.
Take care, man.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, guys, we're going to get Tony Kloosterman in next. Tony Kloosterman, welcome to the booth.
Clyde.
Good evening. Now, we had a chat with Johnny earlier, and he's adamant that you brake checked him, and that's why he hit you. What's your views on it?
Totally not what he said.
I heard the interview, Clyde. It's okay. I did hear Pete kind of lead him down the path of I braked too early. It was completely my fault. So now,
I think, in all fairness, Johnny's put his hands up and said that, you know, that was all on me. It just, I don't know, it always seems to be you and Johnny, doesn't it, when there's some contact?
yeah, I'm sure he's going to lose some sleep over it tonight.
I'm sure he will.
I think it's the situation of two very capable drivers fighting for the same bit of tarmac. So whether I'm trying to draw out some sort of reaction or not is beside the point. How did you find the race tonight?
I thought it was good. It was obviously very, very competitive. Very, very tight in qualifying. Very tight in the first 15, 16 laps of racing. And you know, I think that Johnny and Nickel both had a little bit of pace on me. But you know, it's their job to get by. And I thought things were going well, but you know, things happen. It's racing, and next week will be another week. Well, actually, we get to race tomorrow, so I'll see Johnny then.
Yeah. You drove some very, from what I could see, defensive lines into particularly the first hairpin. Do you think that was that a conscious effort in order to push cars behind you together, or was it that you felt you had to because of the pressure from the cars behind? As you know, you see the difference between those two things.
Yeah, that's a prime overtaking spot, and it was my intention to defend that each and every time. Yeah. And you know, if they can go around on the outside, you know, go ahead. But that was my plan. So, you know, it was fine up until it didn't work.
Yeah. As with everything in life.
That's right.
So many things that applies to. It's frightening. You did a fantastic job though of the recovery stage, because you pitted almost immediately, like almost the same lap as far as I can recall.
It was.
Yeah. And I think that did you well, because Johnny, obviously you've heard the interview, said he considered he pitted far too late. And we've seen before that these cars almost benefit from an earlier pit stop, because they gain that tyre grip once again earlier in the race, and you get that advantage. So was that in your head as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done some long testing, and I did official race last night. We had been seeing some really severe front tire wear, so and the drop-off was fairly substantial at this track too. So anyways, I thought that an early pit stop would be in order. Not quite as early as what I actually did. I planned on lap 18. And then, you know, knock out 2 or 3 laps, gaining maybe a second and a half or 2 seconds a lap, and then hope that that would carry on to the end, because probably after about 10 or 12 laps, the tires evened out for everybody.
Right, that's fantastic. Have you got any shout-outs for anybody?
Simbility, Never Quit Racing, all my teammates, Jamie McKnight, Chris Jackson, Greg Carr, Greg and Jamie did some work on the setup, and seemed to work fairly well.
Chris couldn't make it tonight, could he? Because he was working in the real world.
Yeah, he gets to work.
Yeah. How dare the real world get in the way of sim racing?
Yeah, that's
which is a shame, because he could have done some good numbers around here, and he might have been a support for you, or vice versa. So
he
a
loves
bit of a
this
shame.
place.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, bless him. Right, thanks for that, Tony.
Okay, thanks for the broadcast, guys. Take care. We'll see you next week.
See you tomorrow night.
Bye.
Right, guys. So next, I'm going to bring in another driver that we've never spoken to before, Tommy Toe.
Okay.
Hello.
Tommy, welcome to the booth.
Oh, hello.
Hello there. First of all, the most important question of the evening: how do we pronounce your surname?
It's Toe. You had it right.
Hey, I've
That's
been getting
good.
it right for 2 weeks.
Fairly good race for you tonight. 12th position. You was car number 16, so you've done better than iRacing thought you was going to do. How did you think the race went?
It's really a matter of just not making mistakes or minimizing mistakes, because Phillip Island is such a tough place to pass. Really, the only good overtaking corners is Honda hairpin, and that has second hairpin before the final last couple of corners. Otherwise, it's all single file, and really the best way to tackle the course is to minimize mistakes. Don't get into any unnecessary battles unless you absolutely have to get around them. So it's just, to me, it's just being consistent, keeping focused, which is ironic because I listen to music. And
What, whilst you're driving?
how's my driving?
While you drive, you
to
listen to
music
music?
while you're driving.
Because I want to.
No,
Bad.
you do listen to it. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Come on, then. We've got to ask the
what
question.
music
What
is it?
music?
What music? Bondoy.
Mondoy.
I don't think you guys ever heard of it. It's all Japanese music.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wherever you get your inspiration, doesn't matter to me.
That's right. Absolutely.
And interesting, you said there, trying to stay out of battles. I think you was probably one of the drivers that we saw in more battles than anybody else, especially near the end with Kevin.
Yeah, I noticed that he picked it up, but on Sunlands I also managed to pick it up. The car's starting to understeer better as the tires wore on, so I had to play around with the ARB, with the anti-robots on both sides. So it helped me. It also helps that, again, the track is hard to pass, so the only way Kevin would have a chance with me is to take that risk and try to dive into the corners, which is what I try to do on that final hairpin to seal out that opportunity, which worked out great.
And next week, 36 laps round Road Atlanta, I believe. Is that a track you're familiar with?
Oh, back in the IMSA, back in the LMS days, even in Pilot Challenge, I absolutely love that track. It's beautiful. It's so much fun to drive in any car, in my opinion. One of the best tracks on the iRacing service. So I'm looking forward to it.
So, folks, Tommy Toe's going for the top 3 next week. You heard it here first. Thanks for joining us in the booth, Tommy. We really enjoy watching you racing. Like I say, you're always in a few scrapes, so you get plenty of airtime with us. Congratulations on your result. Is there any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
To all my viewers watching on Twitch, however many that may be, which is very few, so
think there's at least two.
Yeah.
Probably your mum and your dad.
Probably.
No, it's very good when people stream their races as well, because it gives people, click on the streams that these guys do, and it gives you a different insight into how these cars handle, how difficult they are to drive, and how many times you have to turn right to go left.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us in the booth, Tommy. We will let you go and get our race winner in, Nicole Foggy.
Thanks for having me.
See you,
Cheers,
Tommy. Take care.
See ya.
Tough one.
And last but not least, cut off in mid-sentence, is our race winner, Nicole Foggy. Now, Nicole, obviously our broadcasts are just making you win all the time. So, surely you owe us something.
Thank you. Praise be.
That'll do. That's the best we get.
And that's the end of that interview. Right, okay.
So, Nicole, start of the race, you was all over Tony Kloosterman. Then there looked like there was a little bit of a nudge between you and your teammate Johnny Brandon. Johnny took over second place, and then you was under fire and having a decent battle with Conrad.
Yeah, the hairpin. I think Johnny was better on the brakes anyway than me into the hairpin, and I think I was maybe slightly better than Tony. So I was waiting for Tony to turn in, and then I think John had braked a bit later than usual, and I saw him coming, and I knew I just had to stay out the way.
So there was no multi-21 situation going on there then?
Nah, it was mutual.
It did sort of look like, you'd had a few goes at Tony, couldn't get it done, so between you said, oh, well, you have a go, Johnny, see if you can get past.
But we'll say it was that. We'll say it was.
Yeah. And then obviously there was the contact with Tony and Johnny, which Johnny's put his hands up and apologised, obviously. Tony dived straight in the pits, and you. And then that just seemed to work wonders, that early stop, because after all the other pit stops were completed, you had a 4.5 second lead over Conrad.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it was such a big lead. I did for once practice my pit entry, so at least I knew the braking point. Maybe that helped a bit, and I knew my my fuel as well. So, but I'm still not quite sure. Maybe he put more fuel into me or something, or just slower pit entry. If I don't know the pit entry, I'll take my time. You don't want to get a slowdown, so I always forget to do the practice of pit entry. But still, no idea how I got so much time on him. And then I knew I had to push hard because I'd gone in pretty early, and I'd have pretty old tires. But it seems like I think they still kind of plateau at a certain point. About a month or two ago, when we were doing proper testing, it seems around about lap 11 or something that the times don't decrease too much anymore after that. So maybe that's what saved me. Maybe he hit that plateau as well that I was at, and we're both doing about the same time near the end of the race.
Yeah, when you said about tyres and hitting a plateau and it being a month ago, I thought, yeah, that's about when mine plateaued, and then they've just tailed off since then and not won a race in.
I know they've done a bunch. I mean, there's been a few updates to the tires. Yeah, they actually seem like they're not as dynamic as they were before, but I don't know if that is the case, or I've just got used to the tires or what.
But they were quite scary when the new tyre model first came in, weren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
they've tamed them back since then. I think you did a fantastic job tonight in terms of commanding the race. I mean, given not necessarily where you started, but how you managed the situation leading up to the Tony Brandon Gate situation. It was very mature, and then obviously beyond that, you ended up with a 4-second-ish lead, which reduced. But I'm sure you were looking at the relative screen and saying, well, given the fact that I've got 6 laps to go or whatever, they're not going to pull that much amount of time off me now.
I mean, it was. I think when I saw Conrad come out the pits behind me, on my relative anyway, it said 7 seconds, but that changes quite a lot because of the corners and all that, so I didn't know what the actual distance. So I was kind of comfortable at the start, but then at the very start, when he got back out the pits, he gained, like, at least on the relative, half a second every lap for a few laps, and then I was starting to get a bit scared, and I was having a push in that second stint, definitely. And yeah, I think in the first stint as well, I came in early because I think I maybe killed the tires by trying to battle, not managing to make the move around the outside of that hairpin. Tried that a few times, and the camber it just slopes away on that hairpin, so it's a tough move, I think. Especially you don't want to make contact with the other car and ruin the race and stuff. So it's a tough one, that one. And yeah, I think I maybe killed my tires as well. Tony and Conrad had great pace, so did Johnny. So I went in early and it worked out for me.
Yeah, and we were commenting, or rather Bill was commenting, that the standard of driving, as in the cleanliness, was excellent tonight. And whilst there were off tracks and such, people rejoined safely and they let people past. How did you find approaching the slower drivers in the field? Yeah,
it was good. I was when I was coming up to them, like names I hadn't seen before, and I was, I had it in my head, be wary of them. You don't know what they're going to do. I saw a guy go off track, and I was, very nervous that he was just going to come flying back on or put too much throttle on the grass and just spin back onto the track. But yeah, none of that happened. And then the rejoins were good, and people moved out the way when, as we've talked about, or not me anyway, in the V8 ESC stuff, some of the interviews, people talking about, or the podcast, the Backfire podcast, how much leeway should the back markers give the front runners, but they got out of the way, and not that they should, but it was good. It was good. They didn't mess stuff up or anything, and I don't think they have to get out of the way, but it went really well. It was good.
Cool.
Just looking at the race result there, and you're gaining iRating, you're getting towards that 5,500 iRating now, which, looking at your license, not bad for a Class B license, isn't it?
I think I lost my A when I was at Spa 24 last year or something. It was the one in I was in the top split with a different team, and the one that Verstappen and Lando Norris were in, and there was no incident limit. So I think their team maybe had the most, like 1,000 or something crazy. But we had about 400, so not as.
And obviously, just for us to claim a bit more credit, I've just clicked on the series stats. And bear in mind, we've done 2 broadcasts so far in this series, and just looking at the stats for Nicole Foggy, 2 weeks counted, 2 starts, 2 wins, and we've done 2 broadcasts. So you've got it there, folks. That's a fantastic couple of wins for Backfire Simsport TV. The drivers have got absolutely nothing to do with it. But on a serious side, well done, Nicole. Always good to see you racing. Obviously you compete in a lot of the stuff that we do, and it's nice to see you doing well in the official stuff as well. So before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
XVR, the team, always great racing with them and testing and practice, all that. We're going to be running the 24-hour tomorrow, so looking forward to that. Simmortal and PMR as well, Power Max Racing, who have just we've just put their what do you call it, like sort of symbol thing on the car and stuff, so it's cool having them. And thanks to you guys as well for starting up this strength of field on a Friday. Yeah, it looks like, I think it's a bigger field than last week, is it?
Certainly is. Yeah, we had 13 last week and up to 22 this week. So let's hope them numbers keep rising, and maybe at some point we'll get a split.
Most definitely. Yeah, so going well. Looking forward to next week as well.
Okie dokie. Well, thanks for joining us, Nicole, and again, well done on the win.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Oh, it's all right, he's disconnected. I couldn't get rid of him then. You know what it's like sometimes. People start, you just can't get rid of them. Well, guys, we've been going for quite a while. Bill, quick race recap from you. What was your highlights and your lowlights?
Well, I don't think there were many lowlights. It was really an exciting race, a lot of action, good driving, neat car, great race course, good commentators, good director. What can I say? It was wonderful.
And Pete, same from you.
Yeah, I mean, it showed the caliber of drivers today. We had a few incidents, but you saw some people recovering their vehicles without any massive problems. They didn't hit any scenery. They didn't disappear off into the nether. They recovered their car really easily, and that's the sign of someone who's in tune with the car. And it's a sign that the tyre model and the car mixture are very good. Fascinating, like adventure everywhere, challenges all over the track, just brilliant entertainment.
I'm sorry, Pete.
Yeah, I've got to agree with my colleagues. Otherwise, they won't let me do this with them anymore.
True.
It's a bit of a shameless plug. So, there's a lot of drivers in this series that race in our series, V8 ESC. We've seen some returning drivers from last week's officials. We've seen some new drivers tonight. So don't forget, if you fancy some league racing with no iRating on the table or safety rating, check us out at www.v8esc.com. Last really things for me to say is we're back on the air tomorrow with the V8 ESC endurance round from Bathurst, 2-hour race. Really looking forward to that. And then we will be back again at the same time next Friday with the official iRacing V8 Supercars from Road Atlanta. So I think it's about time we wrapped everything up, guys. So it's good night from me.
And good night from me.
And good night from me. And thank you, Backfire Simsport TV. Yeah.
Woo!